Hello and welcome to Jamie's Motion Graphics episode 18. Today we're making this. I know it's not very fancy, but well, it will explain quite a lot about circles and masks, so I hope you will enjoy. I will explain to you step by step how you can make this. Okay, so here we go. We are going to start off with a new composition, and that composition is going to be called circles. No, the first one is going to be called circle. And actually, let's not make it like this. Let's actually make it the way we should have made it. 720 by 720. So it's a nice, well, just even thingy. And then we're going to select the ellipse tool, double click it so we get, oh, my bad. We need a layer first. So new solid, there you go. And the solid is going to be some kind of grayish color. Well, I guess white would be good as well. Yeah, let's do white and just double click the ellipse tool. And that way you have a nice, because this is a square, you get a perfect circle if you double click on the mask. So if you double click on any of the other shapes, you will get those and they will fit exactly into the box that you made. Yeah, well, it's kind of handy. So anyway, this is our circle. It is going to be not very fancy for now. So let's make it duplicate mask here, Control D, or go to Edit, Duplicate, there you go. I'm going to use Control D from now on, so yeah, if you don't like the hotkeys, then yeah, tough luck. Anyhow, I'm going to set the second mask to subtract, then put the mask expansion to, let's say, 75 pixels. Oh, sorry, minus 75, of course, because it's not actually an expansion. And then we're going to feather it out for 25 pixels. That sounds about right. Maybe a little bit more, maybe 50. So yeah, this gets a different view than we normally get. So normally I've been using like these whole things, these whole yeah, circles, and then just doing stuff with those. We're going to make it a little bit differently this time. So new composition, and this time it is going to be 1280 by 720. 4 seconds is a little bit too short. Well, it's a lot too short actually. I'm going to make it 30 seconds. I'm going to also make this one 30 seconds. So composition settings, I'm sorry about this. That shouldn't have happened. But that is the way it goes sometimes. So yeah, if you have this, you can just adjust it and then just drag it out until you have 30 seconds again. Otherwise, your circle will stop existing, and that is no good. So we're going to plop our circle into this, and then we're going to use our colors. I actually made a color bar for this one, and I can actually plop it in there as well. There you go. So that's my color bar. I'm going to stick to those colors today. And yeah, we're going to make somewhat of a fancy ring thing. I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but it's going to be awesome. So the advantage of our circle being in a perfect square earlier on is that the center is exactly in the middle, and we didn't actually have to do anything for it. So we're going to try to make our color match one of the colors there. We're going to use tint for that. I'm not actually sure if that works at once, but I'm assuming it does. So yeah, we're going to say map white to, and then select the color that we want. We can also map the black to something, but we don't want that because we want that to be a see-through kind of color. And okay, let's make a background as well. I kind of forgot about that. And we're going to make a background with the same technique that I used in the previous tutorials, which is generate, where are you, 4-color gradient. And today we're going to make it into, well, the colors from my color spectrum, if I can actually pull it up. So I'm going to have to place that above it. And then we're going to just pick the colors off of this, and I don't have to actually worry about using 4 colors and not having anything left. because the thing is they're going to mix, so it won't be too much of a problem that I already used all my colors in my background, not like I usually have. So I'm going to mix them a little bit more, the blend, because I want a nice background, like it has to be smooth and things like that, and I think this is fine. So you can drag the points around if you want to. I kind of like it like this, maybe, yeah. It's okay. So I dragged them around a bit and it's all good. Now we're going to put the circle on top of that. And let's not put it straight in the middle because that would look weird. Let's start off on the edge here somewhere. Well, not entirely in the corner. And we're going to start by making this circle expand. So just take your scale, so S, set a keyframe and set it to 0%. Then we're going to go forward. Let's zoom in on the time bar a little bit so we can see what we're doing. So let's say 1.5 seconds and then we're 100%. That seems about right. So just go to 1.5 seconds, set it to 100%, and then what happens is you get this nice expanding thingy, and that's exactly what we want. So let's move the position as well. So keyframe the position at time 0 and then at time 1.5 as well. So at 1.5 we want it to look like this. But my problem wasn't, so yeah, if you don't want to change the position, just click this little button over here. It's empty. And well, now you get a little yellow dot in it, and that is this thing. We're going to go back to 0 because I didn't like the fact that here we have a full circle on screen and here it's only like, I don't know, 60%, something like that, or 40%, I don't know, somewhere less than half or around half at least. Anyhow, what I would like is for this circle to be somewhat close to the edge at time 0, but not actually on the edge. Well, in the beginning it has to be on the edge. Oh, I moved the wrong point apparently. That is interesting. So I want that point to move, and yeah, we're just going to do it with the numbers then, because well, it seems that it doesn't want to react to my thing that I was doing. So I'm going to place it all the way in the bottom corner, so that's 0.720. I could have just typed it in, would have been way easier. And now we can see that it actually expands the way that we want to. So it's off center, but it does expand, like it's never fully on screen. So it's perfect. It's the way I wanted it. And let's do another circle. So just duplicate this one. Control D once again, and we're going to set this one to well, this color, and then we're going to set the position, of course, to something else. So instead of being at 0.720, we're going to be at 1280.720, which is the bottom right corner, and then we're going to set the other one, so this one, from it was at 634, which means absolutely nothing to me. Oh, sorry, that's not the one. It was at 106, which means it has to be 1280 minus 106. So that's like 1174. I forgot the number, but something like this. You don't have to do it perfectly as long as it kind of looks all right. So this one will also expand because, well, it's the same circle. And I actually reversed them, but yeah, whatever. If you don't want that, so you can just switch the colors. That's the easiest way to do it. There you go. So switching the colors, of course, is way faster than switching all the points around. And yeah, well, you can just do it the way you want. Keep in mind that this colors thing will, of course, not be on there. So we're going to put something on top here because otherwise it's so empty and we don't want that. So another circle, I guess, duplicate the circle and just put it up top. So I'm going to just go to 0. I'm going to hit U and get the position out of the way. So the position or hitting U means that you get all the keyframes. So it displays everything that has keyframes, everything that you edited basically. And if you don't want it anymore, then just hit the stopwatch again and it will remove everything. So we're going to put it to 640 0, which means the middle of the x value, because it's 1280 total, so 640 is half, and then 0 because, well, it's the top. And we're going to spread this one out to, well, just this. I mean, it doesn't have to do anything fancy. It doesn't have to actually move if we don't want to. But let's say we do want to for now. By the way, if you're having trouble finding your right keyframe, page up, page down scrolls one frame at a time. And that way you can easily find your, well, your desired keyframe. So we're currently at 115, and we're going to drag this out a little bit to the bottom part. I'm going to set this back to 640, so it's exactly in the middle. And we're going to set the color to this one. Yeah, nice bright color, and it does contrast with the bottom, so with the background basically. So yeah, so this is our first part of our animation, I guess. Let's make a new circle. So we had this one. We're now going to make a new comp. Let's rename this one first, because otherwise I get confused, and that is not good. Just go to your project file, and there you can rename them, or rename them the moment you make them. That would be good as well. We're going to call it design, because it's kind of our design platform here. We're going to now make a new composition, and this one is going to be circle 2. It's also going to be 30 seconds long. It's going to be 720 by 720. That was actually accidental, but it is good because, well, we wanted to have a perfect circle. Yeah, obviously, once again, we need to have a layer. So once again, solid, make it white so you can paint it in later, and then just double click it. So instead of having concentric circles this time, we're going to do something different. So duplicate the mask once again, Control D. Scale the mask with the expansion and hit the subtract so you can actually see what you're doing. Yeah, just make it into some kind of circle. It doesn't really matter what it is. It's minus 100 in this case. And then we're going to set the path. So we're going to click on path, and we can actually move the entire circle. We're going to move it over here. And let's make another one. So Control D once again. Just go to the expansion. We're going to put it to minus 150. We're going to set this one to add. And then hopefully that will all work out. I don't know where it is currently, but oh, I did minus 1500. That's why it didn't show up. 150 doesn't seem to be enough for the effect that I was trying to make. So yeah, minus 200 then. Yeah, this is why you click the mask path, so you have all the points selected without actually having to select them. And we're going to put it somewhere over here. I don't know if I want to make it too symmetrical. This looks better. And then we can even make one more, another subtract mask, and we're going to go back to the expansion and make it minus 300. So it's a very small one. Just hit the mask path once again, and then drag it into place wherever you like it. So if you like it over here, that's fine. I'm going to put it over there. So this is a completely different circle from the first one, and obviously that's nice. So what we're going to do now is we're going to select the layer, hit F, so that all the mask stuff disappears except for the feather, and then we're going to feather out some of the circles at least. I guess, well, I can, no, I'm not going to feather out the biggest one because it would go over the screen and that would look ugly. So I was wondering why it would look so ugly, but yeah, that's fine. So the first one is going to have some feathering, the second one is going to have some feathering, and the third one, it is going to have some feathering as well. So if you don't like it, then just don't do it. I don't like it on this one, and I don't like it on this one. So, but on this one I do like it. So it's I'm not going to leave it at 0, but I'm going to leave it at like 3. so that the sharpness of the edge is just gone, so you don't see the individual pixels anymore, because that would be ugly. So back to our design then. We're going to go and input circle 2 in here. And circle 2 is kind of a unique circle, as you might have noticed. It's not actually a circle, but yeah, well, that's the way it is. We can also, oh, let's do that. Let's actually, no, we're going to do that for the next one. I wanted to edit the circle before putting it on here, but this one is just going to be a background circle, I guess. So it can actually be in the background, just because, well, it's kind of a nice contrast with all these other colors. And we are going to make it the lightest color we can, because we did have a color scheme. So we're going to tint it. So put the tint on it and put the lightest color we had on it. And that way it kind of acts as a buffer between the background and the foreground. And if you want to be even more fancy, then do drop shadow. There it is. Drop it on the circle. Set it to something, I don't really care what. And increase the distance. And there you can see what it does. It actually creates some distance between where we are, so the background, and where this thing is. So it appears that it's actually floating in space. We're going to do that for the other circles as well. I just realized, yeah, we should do that. Why not? So just drop the shadow on there, set it to something. And of course, the problem is here that there's not actually a difference between the layers, so it's just a fake distance, and therefore this shadow, so the shadow on the white thing, should actually be different from the shadow on the well, on the background, but it's not. But yeah, well, we can live with that. It's just an estimation of what should be happening. It's all good. I'm going to set all the things to 220 because, well, that's what I set the first one to. And if you actually make different shadows, so different distances, you can actually create some distance in the whole picture. So it makes it more alive, I guess, or however you want to express that. You can, of course, animate this. So if you want the shadow to increase over time, this one is very ugly. Let's pull the distance back a little bit until, yeah, there's no longer a ring here. And then for circle number 2 here, no, that's not the one. For this one, we want to set it to something like this. No. Once again, it did pop out there, and that was just not good. For circle number 2, I guess we can decrease the distance a little bit to kind of motivate that this one is not as high, so the white one is not as high as the others. And yeah, it's a little bit of a difference with what we normally see. So a little bit of shadow. It's cool stuff. So we have this one that is just there, which is kind of strange. So we can kind of fade it in. We can also put some other effect on it so that it blends better with the background. But I guess fading it in would be good enough. So because all of the other circles are also coming in at this point, I think we need to move those to the, well, to the future. So just select them, hit U for whatever. I don't know what it stands for. But we're going to drag this forward till 1.5 seconds. So now at 1.5 seconds, these circles start to come in. So we have 1.5 seconds to actually do something with this guy. And I guess we're going to use the opacity for that. Hit T for opacity, or just go through the motions here and you will see it as well. So currently at time is 0. Let's make a keyframe and set it to 0. Then at time is, let's say 1, it should be at 50%. And at time is 1.5, it should be at 100%. It doesn't have to work like that, but I like it like that. So we're going to make this an easy ease keyframe so that it actually flows a little more naturally. It will still look kind of weird, but well, that's the way it is sometimes. I mean, not every effect has to be super realistic. You can make out of it what you want, and if you like it, then that's the right way to go. So we can actually say, okay, we're done here. Sorry. We can also say, well, this circle is not entirely what I hoped it would be. I want to have somewhat more onto it. So let's add a new layer on this. A new solid. It's going to be white. And we're going to put a circle on it. And if you hold Control Shift, then it will be a perfect circle. I think just Shift will do it. Yeah, Control means that it actually centers on where you started. But yeah, I'm going to make a small circle here. That's our first mask at least. And then we're going to take that circle, move it to the middle of this thing, and then feather it out. Where are you? Here you are. Hit the F and then feather it out. You won't be able to see too much of it, but it will make somewhat more of a look like it is actually glowing. I think our circle is a little bit too light to do this, but well, we can always just change the color on this thing, of course. No, I want the path. Come on, give me the path. There you go. So I don't know if no, I don't think you can actually see this. So let's change the circle color to this one then. There you can actually see it. Just don't feather it out for 85 pixels, but make it more like this, I guess. Hang on. Yeah, so it's a little bit more visible in this case. We're going to hit position, and we're going to change the position a little bit so that it looks as though it's in the middle of this thing. Maybe make it a little bit bigger. Oh, the mask path. You can't actually edit the mask path as far as I'm aware to scale. So we're just going to scale up the entire layer and do it that way. The problem is, of course, the anchor point's over there. So yeah, it's not the best way to do it. So now we do need to cut out this little piece here to make sure that it doesn't overlap with our shadow, because, well, it shouldn't glow where there's the shadow. So make a new mask, or just duplicate this one, and set it to subtract, and then we're going to move it over to actually fit here, which fits almost perfectly. So if you want to have that perfect, obviously you can change the points, but for now it seems to do pretty well. So yeah, now that we're done bringing a little more life to this, we can of course add more stuff to this. We're not going to do that too much. I just wanted to show you that you could like do this. You don't have to. So if you want to, then you can add a little bit of a line here, for example, or well, make something out of it. But I'm perfectly happy with most of it being 2D. We do have to move this white solid right on top of our circle too, so that the other circles draw over it, because it would look weird otherwise. Anyway, yeah, let's just make something else happen. At this point, we have these 3 circles coming in, and we can, for example, make them interact. So if we make all of them go to the same spot, then maybe we can do with that, something with that. So position for all of them. I guess I already have the position here. And we're going to 640, 360. There you go. So that looks like this now. And they all fit in. And then maybe they fade out, like just at the moment they come in. They kind of, because this one is the same color as the one on the underground, it kind of looks weird. It looks like they're completely gone, except for this little ring here, which is of course the feather. And yeah, well, if that is what we want, then that is what we want. But we don't really want that. We're going to duplicate this circle and hit P for position. Remove all the keyframes because this one is going to just start at the moment the other ones come in here. It's going to be the white color. I think I edited the wrong one. Yeah, there you go. So now the top one is white, but this one shouldn't exist before this moment, so just hit the split layer here. Do this, and then we also want to split these and remove what's on the right side. So now they're coming in, and right at the moment they connect, they get replaced by this white circle. So yeah, there's a lot of red in this. I don't know why this other red one is here. Who are you? It's that one. Okay, so apparently I have one too many circles here. This one. Okay. Oh, yeah, I copied all three of them apparently. I only wanted one, of course. So yeah, that was my bad. Don't select all your layers. So they're coming in, and then they get replaced by this white one, who is of course going to shrink into this hole. That seems a very reasonable thing to do. So hit your S for scale and set a keyframe so that it's at 100% there. And then we say like 1 second later, maybe 1.5 seconds later. Once again, page up in this case gets you 1 frame, page up, page down, allow you to get your exact location. This one shouldn't scale. This one should in fact not do anything. So this one should scale. Oh, I'm messing it up so hard today. I don't know what it is. But yeah, 415, we're going to set a scale point here. Yeah, all of the scale points that are currently there should be removed. Then 515, we're going to set this to 0. Yep. Oh, maybe not 0. Maybe we can just fit it in. And I said 1.5 seconds. So let's find 6 and then line up this one with the line. So yeah, let's try to make the position P actually line up with that. So the position at time is 0. Well, not times 0, times 4.5. Should be right where it is now, and then it's going to shrink until 6 seconds, and then at 6 seconds it should be right over here somewhere. So yeah, let's try to fit that exactly. So hit S or just hit U to have both of them. We're going to just scale it up a little bit, remove the drop shadow at this point because it looks weird that it's still there. So remove the shadow, and you can of course do that like right here with here. The distance on this should be well changing over time. It's going to change to 0. There you go. So we remove it by making it disappear over time, and that seems a very logical way to do it. It seems that I scaled to minus. Yes, I did. So let's change that. So yeah, if you hold Control, by the way, you can modify things in a more subtle way. It's useful for these kind of things where you want to find the exact position and not, yeah, not have like a huge gap between each click or each, well, point. And this seems to be just about right. So yeah, let's assume that's correct. Let's also assume that we actually did this other thing correctly, which is to have the circles actually disappear and not still be there. So yeah, these two are gone, but this one is not gone. So let's cut that one. Split layer, delete the rest. And yeah, it seems that now everything is okay. So now we have this little circle in here. Okay, now what are we going to do next? We're going to make something come out from the side again. So we're going to just ignore what we have on screen and just make something new. Let's design another circle by making a new composition. Circle 3. 720 by 720. That sounds about right. Oh, once again, layer first. Just so excited to make a circle, man. Solid, we're going to make it white, and then color it in later, just like we did previously. So if you make different gray tones, then you can actually use that as well, of course. So let's do ramp this time. Ramp is, well, you'll see what it is. It's a flow from, in this case, black to white. You can, of course, set them the way you want. And we want to have a radial ramp. We want a radial ramp to be in the middle somewhere. Yeah, we can just pick it up and move it. It's all good. So 360, 360, and you can actually say like how big it needs to be and things like that. So scatter seems to be a cute effect. So yeah, I don't see where I can actually make it bigger, but I guess the only way to do that would be like this. So that could work if you're saying like, yeah, I want some white in there, or I want no white in there at all. Yeah, you can change that. So let's make another mask. So duplicate this one, and then say subtract, and just say, oh, hang on, the other one. The expansion is going to be like up till here. I don't know. That just looks weird. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to have a new layer. I want to have a white ring around the edge. So it has the same masks on it. I can now delete this mask number 2. And this time I am going to hit the subtract. And I am going to do what I just did by making the mask expansion minus something. But I am going to, from the second one, remove the ramp. Just delete that. And there you have it, a nice white ring. So it is, because this one is just white, and then I make a ring, blah blah. So I make this mask first, which is the outer mask, and then I make the expansion, subtract from it, or anything but the expansion. Yeah, it's fairly straightforward by now, I hope. And we're going to feather it out a little bit, just to make it somewhat more of an interesting thing. So let's put circle 3 in our design, and let's toss it in from the side. So circle 3, let's have you come in, and obviously he needs a tint. So let's put that on there, and we're going to make white, go to that? I guess the red. Yeah, okay. Scale it and let's make it very small. And let's just throw it in from the side. Position P. We're going to just start over here. Everything has been shrunken, and then we're going to wait 1 second to continue with something new. Position keyframe, and we're going to, as I said, throw it in quite literally because it's going to have kind of a velocity. And let's say that in 2 seconds, so it has such a velocity that in 2 seconds it would leave the screen on the other side. So 2 seconds later, it's going to be over there. Let's say a little bit higher. Maybe this one a little bit lower. I don't know, something like that. So that is going to be our speed. And it's going to be affected. Is it going to be affected by gravity? Well, yeah, why not? Why not? We have nothing better to do. So let's take the Convert Vertex tool. Hit this one until you see this. Well, you only need to hit it once normally at maximum. But a lot of the time you can't actually see this. Let me lock some layers here. So we're done with those. Everything except for circle 3 can be locked now. And I can actually close all of them as well. So yeah, we don't have to see all this this stuff happening except for the position. And let's go back to that. So you can see a little bit of a dot next to the line here. And now I lost it. It is here somewhere. There it is. Yeah, that is the handle. It's very unclear. There's another one over here without the line, but we don't want it over there. We only want it on our first one. Oh, I had both points selected, so that's not smart. I only want this one selected. And then we remove the handle with the Convert Vertex tool. And now we're going to drag it out with our other tool, selection tool, I think this is. So yeah, we're going to make it somewhat of a curve. Not a spectacular curve, but somewhat of a curve. So currently it just flies through the thing. But instead of it just flying through, it should actually get to do something, right? So let's over here make it collide with something else. So we're going to duplicate circle number 3. We're going to set it to a different color. And we're going to set the beginning and end spots to something else. So let's have this one go from that side to that side. And obviously we need to change the arc a little bit. And then, as I said, it needs to collide with the other one. So let's just make that happen. You can make it happen by, well, by actually dragging it over there like this. But that is very messy, so you don't want that. They have similar speeds currently, but they don't need to have that. So we want it to hit right over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up one of them, this one in this case, and we're going to drag over the timeline until they actually hit. And then we're going to address the position so that, well, they don't hit too hard. So currently they're overlapping. You don't want that. You want the hits to be like just there. And there you go. So now they're hitting, and of course they fly off in different directions. So yeah, they hit, and then we can imagine that this one flies over here, and this one flies over here somewhere. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to set for both of them. Hit U, and again, I guess. Hit U and set a position point, because at this point they both meet, and whatever happened afterwards or used to happen afterwards is not going to happen because they just collided. So we're going to just go one by one. This is which one is this? This is the light red. Light and this is dark. Okay, let's first do the dark, because, well, that's the one I have selected. Go a few frames into the future, go to the left, and just drag it out of the thing. Don't worry that the curve looks terrible. Just put it into a position where you think it would leave the screen if it would collide like that. So then take your vertex tool and just remove the handles from this middle point. We're going to, of course, make a new curve because, well, gravity. So go to your original hit position, go one frame into the future, and set a position point, one of those keyframes. Then we're going to zoom in a little bit. We're going to change this one to have handles, and then we're going to, with the selection tool, drag the handle, pull this one in until it's right in the point, and the other one we're going to drag out until we have a nice curve. As you can see, it's just a little curve. So the only thing that we still need to do is line up this point with this point, but we can only use this point. So you drag the second point so that this line actually makes sense. So the new line you just created has to make sense and has to come from this point. And that way you get a nice bounce and you get to go off to the left. So now let's fix the timing, because, well, is it going to slow down or speed up once it hits? So it's going to hit, and then is it going to go faster or slower after the hit? Well, let's say it's going faster. That means that the amount of travel distance between these points is supposed to be bigger than between these points. Like, this is the incoming speed, so this is how much it travels in one frame. And now this is what it travels in one frame. So the top one is currently smaller than the bottom one. So currently it's slowed down. If you want to speed it up, just drag your thing ahead in time, your end position, and it will just reach its destination quicker, which means it will go faster. It doesn't matter which one you choose, but yeah, just be aware that you can choose it. So you can drag it out and have a lot of points there, but that would look weird. So just estimate something like, yeah, a little bit slower, a little bit faster. You can actually see the speeds right here in your graph editor. Currently, yeah, we have incoming speed of 807 pixels per second, outgoing speed of 750, and you can just drag your points in time, so this one, to adjust that. So yeah, I was actually pretty happy with that, but I'll show you what happens if I move it like that. So now the incoming speed is 807, same, and the outgoing speed is 1350, which is hugely different, of course. So yeah, we don't want that. We want it to be just about here. So yeah, that looks good. It slowed down a little bit, but not a lot, and that's the way we want it. So don't make the change too big, or you will actually notice it and it will look terrible and you will blame me for it, but yeah, I warned you. So anyway, we're going to do exactly the same thing for the other one. So go one frame into the future from the collision, then go all the way, well, actually, no. Go to the end first, so where you think it's going to leave the screen. Well, not yet, but just go to some point in the future. Just set this thing to go wherever. It's going to bounce this way. And then, yeah, you can remove this one or remove the handles of it. Then go one frame into the future from where they collided. So they collide, one into the future, set a position point, add the handles if they're not already there. They are already there for me. That doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes it does. And just drag them out. Make a nice arc. Yeah, set the thing up so that it actually looks to come from the right spot. It doesn't matter if you're a little bit off. Like, I'm not measuring this precisely. I'm just saying, well, it just about looks right. It doesn't really matter. You won't notice it because it's only one frame and it's during the collision. So it's like right at the moment it collides, it will move a little bit slower or faster, depending on what you did. And yeah, we're going to look at the rates here. So currently the incoming rate is about 800 and the outgoing rate is 610. That is not really good. We need to move it up a little bit just so it's actually faster. You can of course also drag out the graph to the right, and now it's actually faster than the incoming one, which is not what we wanted. We want it to be somewhere in between. Let's say over here. Yeah, now it just lost a little bit of speed. So let's see how that looks. Yeah, there we go. Bam and bam. So yeah, not very spectacular, but definitely an efficient way to fill the screen for a moment and to do something. We can, by the way, let this circle move. So that's the ground circle. That would actually look really nice. So just hit R for rotation, and let's say that the moment this thing comes in, so the moment they actually connect, that's when it stops rotating. So that is when rotation is 0, because otherwise it doesn't fit. And we're going to go all the way to the front, so to the right, to the beginning, and just set this rotation to, let's say, minus 360. And this way it will rotate. By the way, you need to make sure that this one rotates as well then. So now this looks like this. It's rotating very slowly. It kind of looks like some kind of ancient mechanism or something like that. I don't know. It could be anything. It's just pretty. That's all I know. So yeah, now it's standing still. The other guys come in, they bounce, and yeah, maybe you want like more of these things. Maybe you want more stuff to happen, and that is of course all up to you. Yeah, you can do whatever you want with it, and that is exactly the way design works. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed what I showed you, and I will see you next time.